Hello, and welcome back to Zenin Fanfics. Today we're starting an exciting new series. What if Deku had code Quirk? If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe for more content. The story we're featuring is written by Lotus Moon Veil on Wattpad. You can find all the relevant links in the description, so be sure to check out the author's profile and say hello. Now, let's dive into the story. Izuku POV, hello. Hi, I'm the coded conscious of Izuku, Midoriya. If you're reading this, my flesh body has been destroyed, or one of my cores was sent into another reality or place in time. I'm here to tell you of the life of my original vessel. In my world, almost everyone had superpowers we all called quirks. Take note of the word almost. I was in the unfortunate 20% that was seen as quirkless. People like me were bullied, killed without consequences, and sometimes sold as slaves. My best friend Bagugo Katsuki, a.k.a. Kakin, became my worst bully when I was deemed quirkless. From the age of 4 to 14, I was bullied almost endlessly. Broken arms, legs, cuts, burns, and hundreds of black eyes with any time I stood up for myself, I would get punished. In that world, the better your quirk, the closer to a god you were. There were other views of quirks too. Villainous quirks, heroic quirks, useless quirks, and a few others I don't remember. Anyways, I think this is enough of a backstory which I can fill in more later. Let's get to the day I forced my quirk to manifest. It was the last day of middle school, and everyone was talking about which hero school they will try to attend. Of course, my egotistical ex-friend Katsuki jumped on his desk and yelled, "Yo, teach, don't lump me in with all of these extras. I'm going to UA, and I will become the #1 hero." You do know Midoriya is going to apply to go there too. That teacher pretty much signed an order for my grave saying that. Everyone laughed at me, saying no quirkless has ever been in UA. I'm just going to the support class. I have no longing to be a hero. I said, hoping to keep Katsuki from attacking me later. Once class was over, I was attacked anyways. He burned my blueprint book of devices I was creating, had his lackeys break my left arm, and blasted me across the room with his flashy explosive quirk. Did a teacher come? No. Did anyone check to see if I was alive? No. I'm just a worthless person without a quirk. Deku, you better avoid UA or I will kill you. Oh yeah, I know a way for you to get a quirk. Take a swan dive off the roof and pray you get one in the next life, Katsuki said before leaving me there. Him and his goons laughed at his encouragement for me to commit suicide. I slowly collected my stuff and used an emergency sling I made because of how often this happens. I sighed and used some blast cream I created just for nitroglycerin burns. Once I put the cream away, I realized where I was. I was on the roof of the school. No clue why I walked up here, but I decided just to follow his advice. I wrote a note apologizing to my mom that I do this and blaming the quirk-obsessed world and Katsuki for my death. After placing my backpack down with a note tied to it, I jumped. My timing was perfect cause I was going to land and splatter right in front of Katsuki. I flipped him off and glared at him as I fell. That's when my quirk decided to intervene. It froze time and made a prompt appear in front of me. Continue with suicide as your quirk forms, or use quirk to make Katsuki suffer. This surprised me greatly. I could only move my head and arms as a keyboard formed under the prompt. I smirked as I typed. Let me splatter close to death before my body recalls similar to Tracer from Overwatch. I hoped it would work as I hit enter. Time resumed, and I felt all my bones break, my skin and muscles flatten before bursting out, and my BLD coating the arrogant JRK and his lackeys. The pain is something I hope to never feel again as the breaking stopped and I got rewinded back. In a few seconds, I was suddenly back in the classroom before my book was burned. My body was fine, no broken arm, no burns, nothing. I quickly ran out of the school and saw the puddle of my BLD and all my BLD-spotted classmates. Thank you for the idea, Katsuki. I now have a quirk. Is that how you got yours to manifest a month before it should have? I said as I skipped by him happy as I could be. Police and a couple of heroes stopped me from leaving the school lot. They asked everyone what they saw, and I admitted what happened except I said my quirk appeared right before I would have died. Katsuki and his friends were scolded, and that was it. Their parents were called, and I was allowed to go home since I was fine. On my way home, I decided to take a shortcut to get home faster to tell my mom. This wasn't the best idea as I was attacked by a slime creature. As he tried to grab me, my keyboard and screen popped up again. I quickly hit the pause button, freezing time. As time slowed to a halt, I looked at the slime and moved to the side. He could see my Quirk interface, as I called it, as he had a tendril close to grabbing it. I moved my stuff and typed, "Sludge attacker gets put into an unbreakable jar and arrested." Once that was entered, he was suddenly forced into a jar, and time resumed. I picked up the jar and tapped it to PSS him off as All Might popped out of the sewers where I'm guessing my Jared sludge came from. "Young man, have you? Is that the villain in your jar?" I nodded and handed it to him. "I'm sorry about using my quirk without a license. I literally just manifested it an hour ago, and he attacked me. The jar is unbreakable, but it's best you hold it when you go turn him in. The jar won't fit your pockets that well." All Might was stunned. "Wait, you just manifested your quirk today, and you were able to catch a villain?" I nodded and showed him the QI. He looked at it stunned and tried to touch it only for his fingers to go through. "Guess I can only let people see it. That's a good thing. I've paused time and undid my death with this." I told him the story as he began to smoke. Once I noticed the smoke, I instinctively summoned a fire extinguisher and a set of clothes for All Might, only for him to become a skeletal version of himself. You will tell no one of this understood. Also, can this villain see out of the jar? I held up a finger and made the jar black and tested to see if I could erase memories using a video editing software on my screen. Needless to say, it worked. Now he can't see out, and I erased him seeing you transform. I cut it out, so he just goes from you listening to my story to his jar going black and soundproof. Skill Might was impressed. Such an awesome quirk. I hope you become a hero and not a villain. Can I ask you another small favor? I nodded as I made QI show up again, ready to type, or use any other program that might work. Skill Might sighed. Can you undo the damage caused 6 years ago? It's why I powered down suddenly. Sure, but I want an autograph, and you keep being an awesome hero, I said as I did a mix of Photoshop and Notepad editing to fix Skill Might. He laughed. Done, and what all are you doing? A mix of Photoshop to get rid of your physical damage, and in case that's not enough, I'm causing your injury to suddenly heal as if it never happened. I'm thinking roughly 15 minutes ago shall do. And I am done. Once I saved it all, Skill Might returned to All Might. His scar was gone, and I had secretly added more power to his body and quirk. All Might hugged me and gave me his autograph as I created a small bag similar to a one-strap backpack. I quickly put the bag on him and the Jared villain in it. This is a custom bag which can hold almost anything as long as it's no bigger than you. It's now your bottomless Might pack. He laughed and thanked me before he ran into a wall. Young Midoriya, did you boost my power, or did my injury really weaken me? I fidget with my notebook, which I had All Might sign in, actually a mix of both. I only added 25% of your total power from your prime. I didn't think you were that hindered and assumed the boost would be welcomed. I'm sorry. He made sure to get used to it before he patted my head. It's okay, young Midoriya. This will definitely help me save everyone. If you want, I can recommend you into UA. That way you don't have to do the regular test. I perked up as he said that. You think I could get into your old school? He nodded and gave me his number before running off to turn in the villain. I stood still for a few minutes before I pulled up QI and looked through my programs. There were programs just released and some from the year 1990. With some scrolling, I found a game called Minecraft and gave myself a speed potion from it. I drank it and ran home to my mom. Mom, I'm home, and I got a surprise for you. I yelled as I ran into the living room where I saw her, Katsuki, and his mom, Mitsuki. Hi, Annie Mitsuki. Is this about what happened at school? My mom nodded. Why didn't you tell me that Casey? Wait, when did you stop calling him Kakin? I freeze in place. I don't know actually. I think a few years ago, after the 10th broken arm and the 4th broken leg. Auntie Mitsuki hit Katsuki. You really broke his legs. I swear if I knew you were doing this, I would have beat you, but like a drum. Annie, don't. You can't really blame him. The teachers did nothing to stop it cause quirks are everything. Plus, without his latest beating, I would not be able to do this. I summon QI and make glasses of tea pour themselves and add sugar or milk to everyone's taste. Once that is done, I turn the plastic teacups into pure china teacups and saucers. I now have my own quirk and helped All Might earlier. Bullshit. I bet you're making that SHD up. That outburst from Katsuki made his mom hit him hard. I then showed the autograph to them and showed them a bit of my meeting of All Might making sure not to show his deactivation. My Izuku already helped a hero. I'm so proud of you, son, but not of how you got your quirk. I hugged my mom and apologized as I left to put my backpack into my room and my blueprint notebook into my small lab. Katsuki noticed the book. Wait, didn't I scorch that stupid book? I nodded. When I undid my jump, it went before you did it. Thank goodness it worked like that. I didn't want to start from scratch. Once I put the book in place for later, I returned to the living room with Annie Mitsuki and Katsuki leaving. Katsuki sighed. Deku, I was so HRD on you because I didn't want you to be a quirkless hero and die. I don't know when I went power crazy, but I am sorry. I nodded. I understand, but I can't forgive you yet. Please get some anger management classes. I want you to become an awesome hero and not like Endeavor. Something about him is off. He smirked. I'm not a flaming trash fire. We both laughed. True, but you're close in attitude. They left and my mom made katsudon for supper. She asked about my quirk, and I answered what I could since I literally just got it. Once supper was over, I headed downstairs into my lab to work on my creations. Once I got mostly done with my current project, I decide to use my quirk to help speed it along. Using my quirk, I bent a few metal plates, welded them on, and double-checked the now covered wiring. Once I was satisfied, I colored it green and tried its storage mode. I pressed a certain button, and it became a small bracelet, which I put on. I pressed a certain button, and it became a small bracelet, which I put on. This is what he made. I loved the movie growing up and decided to give it a little shout-out. Mom, I'm going out to test my solar surfer. Its storage mode is flawless, but now to try it out. She yelled at me from the kitchen. Fine, but be back before dark. We are seeing the quirk doctors tomorrow, and I want you to be fully rested. I nodded as I rushed out and removed the bracelet. After I hit the button and tossed it in front of me, it returned to full size and floated in front of me. I hopped on and put QI and follow in note mode. Note that hover mode works. Testing thruster. I tried it out and flew around easily. After about an hour of flying around, I went home and began to mess with QI. I learned about what I now had. My quirk is called the code. It allows me to mess with reality as if it was a computer program or a book. It also increased my intelligence from BRTH, which explains a lot about why I always get A in every class and can create such interesting ideas. That also explains how I was able to repair anything that breaks with stuff around the house. Now I will spend some time messing with my quirk as I train to get into UA. Hopefully I don't get sidelined by something random. I woke up the next morning and headed downstairs to talk to my mom. Mom, is it okay if I mess with my quirk today? I'll head to the middle of the woods so that I don't destroy any buildings. She laughed as he gave me my breakfast. Go ahead, Izuku, just don't strain yourself, okay? You just got it yesterday. I nodded as I ate my breakfast. Once I finished and washed my dishes, I hugged my mom and rushed off using my solar sail to get there. Of course, my luck got me pulled over. Officer was kind of rude. Okay, kid, where did you steal this flying surfboard? I looked at him a bit stunned. I built it, officer. I've been working on it for a few months and just finished it yesterday. He scoffed. I've heard that before. Do you have any proof? I nodded. I have the blueprints, and if I may use my quirk, I can show you my memories of working on it. He smirked. Sure, but if I see you do anything hostile, I will arrest you. I pulled up QI and showed him a little memory montage of my building it and using my quirk on the last bit. That is when he tried to arrest me for illegal quirk usage. I let him take me to the police station after I turned my solar surfer back into its bracelet form. At the station, I sat in an interrogation room. I waited patiently as the detective came in. You're being held for illegal quirk usage. What do you say about that? I sighed. I just got my quirk yesterday. I used it to finish my solar surfer in my mom's basement and to prove to the officer that I didn't steal my creation. If I may use my quirk, I can show where I asked if I could use my quirk to prove I didn't steal. He allowed me, and I showed him the same stuff and me asking the officer permission. Detective apologized. I'm sorry that he arrested you for no reason. May I ask what you mean by you got your quirk yesterday? I rubbed the back of my neck as I told him about what happened. He visibly paled as I finished the story. You're that kid. The officer that took the case called you BLD bomb. Can you wait in the lobby for a little bit? I nodded as he let me leave the interrogation room. After roughly 20 minutes of waiting, All Might showed up and said hello. That's when I found out why I had to wait. Young Midoriya, I heard about the officer arresting you in the interrogation. The detective asked me to take you to UA to train your quirk. I quickly nodded as I jumped up. He laughed. I heard you made something. Think we can use it to get to UA? I smiled. Most likely, but I've not weight tested it much. I just finished it last night. I pulled him outside before making the solar surfer unfold itself. Impressive, young Midoriya. From that to a bracelet is incredible. Compaction. Let's fly this thing. What does it run on? Diesel, ethanol, or normal gas? I pointed to the sun as I hopped on and helped All Might onto the board section. I stomped into the shoe clamps and pointed out the passenger's clamps out to All Might. Once he was hooked up, we took off. He enjoyed it as we got to UA within half an hour. That was incredible. Think you can make me one. I will pay you twice the amount needed for parts and extra for LBR. I thought a bit and smiled. I think I can just duplicate it. I did use my quirk to create an unbreakable jar. I tried to make a second one using my quirk, giving the copy All Might's color scheme and the words Solar Might along its sides. The way I typed it caused a very sci-fi looking effect. The original got All Might's color and the words along one side before it began to split, similar to how a cell duplicates. It stretched, forming more and more of itself until it finally split apart, showing two complete boards. Amazing! Your quirk is beyond what I expected. Thank you, All Might. I'm glad I got your praise. Now, how to use this thing is very easy. I smiled as I told him how to work it. After a bit, we raced around Saigama, in which we tied. After that, in the next few days, he gave me various tests to use my quirk on. At first, it was doing stuff like trying to move stuff around, create items, and give myself quirks. I was able to do all of that, but I quickly undid the quirks. I didn't want to use something I wasn't born with. Well, with how precise you can be with your quirk, I don't think you need that type of training, but we need to find out your limit. Do you have headaches, pains, or sudden blurry vision while using it? All Might asked while he brought us both lunch from Lunch Rush, the school's cook. I shook my head. Nothing yet, but I do want to try something. I want to see if I can see other dimensions like the old TV series sliders. After we ate lunch, he let me try it. Needless to say, it worked. I visited two different realities, one where I was a walking emerald and another where I was a vampire. Honestly, I could have ended up somewhere worse. I told All Might and yawned as it was getting late. He gave me a lift on his Solar Might and told my mom what happened at today's training. When he told her of me sliding into other realities, she yelled at how careless I was. I was grounded for a week, which means no inventing, no training, and no TV. After supper, I went to bed and slept peacefully. What I didn't know until later was that Mom called my father. Hisashi, it's time you come home. Izuku has gotten a quirk, and All Might is training him. Hisashi scoffed. I am not coming home unless he gets into UA. I don't care if his quirk can delete the universe. Until I see him on national television, I won't come back to you. With that, he hung up and changed the news where he saw me and All Might racing our surfers to and from different places since it was part of my training. The newscaster, All Might, has been seen with a young man who seems to be the creator of his current form of transport. The device runs completely off of solar power, yet can fly over 100 miles per hour easily. The creator is a young teenager called Izuku Midoriya, and according to some of our sources, plans to be a support hero and enter UA this year. I must say, if All Might already trusts him this much, he will most likely be let in by recommendation and possibly into the hero course as its third ever cross-class student. I wish the boy luck and hope his dreams come true. With that, my father planned to return and make sure I supported him from now on. My dear boy, it's time you met me again. Thank goodness I can finally retire. I'm sick of being a hero. I've been training with All Might and tinkering with my items for the past few months since my quirk appeared. All Might and I have been almost like father and son. He takes me fishing, the park, and we race a ton. He has become a bloody speed demon on his surfer. Trust me, he's worse than the kid from Treasure Planet. He weaves through traffic, though. He can easily fly over it. While I was learning about my quirk, I discovered I can rewrite how my body works. As a joke, I became Gem Izuku for a bit. Mom was not happy when I sneezed and destroyed the window with an emerald booger. Of course, I fixed it and undid my modifications. With some small experiments that would make some people blush, I made my body nearly perfect in my opinion. I have pink muscle all throughout my body, which is the perfect balance of strength and endurance. Though I boosted both, I removed the need for sleep, eating, and water, and my eyes can change their strength simulator to a microscope or binoculars. Of course, there were some personal changes, but mostly it was removing most of my scars. This edit is because of perverts. I did not write lemon/smut, so stop asking how big he is. Use your own DMN imagination if you want, but I will not write it. Today is the entrance exam to get into UA, and I had to do 2 different tests. One for the support class and the other for the hero course. I left home early for the test, and I had packed a few of my creations for both tests. Since I was applying for 2, I got to do the written section early. Once I got it done, I headed to the support test. I was pretty close to the front of the line, but I still had to wait, but luckily I saw my world Hazame Hatsum, and she was 2 people behind me. What's stupid is I formed a crush on her when I saw a double in another reality. When it was my turn, I didn't even show anything when Power Loader, head of the support class, instantly said passed. I stopped him. How could I pass? I didn't show you anything. He laughed and pointed to my watch. That's your solar surfer. That is what passed. If you want, you can show me one creation. With a smile, I pulled out an energy shield from the same watch. I compacted my shield tech and fused it with my surfer bracelet, making it into a watch. How strong is it? I paled, then thought up something. I used my quirk to call up Gem Izuku. Gem was on his bed, but sat up when he saw me through the portal. Hey Cyber, what's up, bud? I smiled. Have you built anything from my design booklet I gave you? Power Loader got mad. You design but can't build, and why does he look like you? Gem laughed. Sorry, Power Loader, but he can build stuff. He's just asking hero course version of him if I tested anything he designed. Trust me, interdimensional stuff is confusing. I did build the shield, took a 10% SSB without even a glitch. I then used it in a fight, and no problems. Guy was easily a filled garbage truck, going at 100 miles per hour as power for each punch. He got at least 100 punches. Anyways, good luck, Cyber. Is your crush in that world, or do you want mine? I quickly closed the portal with a major blush, making everyone close laugh. Power Loader was the first to calm down. Okay, so what's an SSB? I reach into my pocket and pull out what looks like a spiked watch battery. It's the Solar Surfer battery. I use them in all of my tech that requires energy. It stores roughly 200 yotajoules of energy before it's maxed out. Unfortunately, the battery is very explosive, so it requires VTN alloy of a certain mixture to surround it. 70% vibranium, 26% tritanium, and 4% naquata. The naquata spreads out the energy, tritanium replaces the lost strength, and the vibranium does the rest. A yotajoules is actually the amount of sunlight that hits the planet yearly. Vibranium is from the Marvel Universe, while tritanium and naquata is from Stargate SG-1 universe. Power Loader was impressed. That's a very specific blend, and your shield survived a 20 yotajoule blast. That's very impressive. I shook my head as I grumble. He didn't say if the blast was focused or not, and how close he was. Each one would have different results. Power Loader nodded. Very true. How about you test it in Site Alpha? It's the only one with that alloy throughout its walls, though it's 2N and 28T. I nodded and flew off on my surfer. Once I landed at the center of it, I put down a VTN box with one side open, knowing the blast would mostly hit me. Once it's level, I put a fully charged SSB inside with a destruction trigger on it. I then created cameras that can't be destroyed around me, so they get all the angles needed. With that set up, I typed up a revive code for myself, set up the shield to be point blank, and started recording. The blast was mostly absorbed by my shield, but when there was about 20% left of the explosion's power, it broke and killed me. According to the recording, my entire body was instantly incinerated and reformed by pixels shooting off the cameras to rebuild me. With that test done, I flew back to the test area with the results, but what I didn't know is that they saw it all. The second I landed, people rushed me to see if I was okay. I nodded and walked over to Power Loader, who was pale. My shield took 160 YJ before it broke, and the death was painless. 1 second my shield broke, and the next was me standing there as if nothing happened. That's when May came over to me. Have you died before now? How soft her voice was surprised me. Actually twice. My quirk fully manifested right before I died the first time, and the second time was accidental while training with daggers and such. Don't worry, it doesn't bug me. It's like I am in a video game with lots of lives. That seemed to calm everyone down, but made May hyper. Wait, does that mean you have a HUD in your eyes? Can you see other people's stats? With those questions, I pulled up QI and started to type up some code, mumbling a bit. As I kept typing power loader, looked at other people's creations, which sometimes worked or exploded in their faces. I would toss splash healing potions from Minecraft at them as I kept coding. Since the bottle would completely vanish in game, it did so in real life. Once the code was finished, I looked at May and smiled. May Hatsum, 15, female. Quirk is zoom, which lets you zoom in on people or objects in your line of sight, similar to a telescope. Nice quirk, very useful in covert spying missions. You would need a way to hear them or just read lips. That made her bounce around some as my watch dinged. Power loader, I have to go to my other test. May I be dismissed? He nodded as he yelled, if you do get into the hero course as well, I will see you in the afternoon of the first day. Good luck, bud, though you don't need it. I thanked him and ran to the auditorium where they would explain the physical aspect of the test. I got to the room a bit late, unfortunately, so the first thing I hear as I enter the room is some blue-haired guy in glasses yelling at Present Mike because he didn't get to a part yet, or there was a misprint. He quickly turned to me as the door opened and pushed his glasses onto his face as May crashed into me, causing us both to hit the floor. I helped her up and closed the door as the kid started yelling. You should drop out now if you're going to be late to every meeting. Coming in late is a distraction and an insult to those on time. I simply ignored him as I waved to Present Mike. Sorry, Present Mike. My other test took longer than expected. Thank goodness you insisted on telling me about the physical when I took the written test at 7 a.m. This made blue hair stiffen before I turned to him. Apologize to Present Mike, please. I bet he just explained the 3 bots worth points. The 4th is an obstacle worth nothing, which he was going to save for when he explained the environments with each testing site. That boy quickly apologized to me, and Present Mike laughed. Izuku, did you get another of the support class to join the test for the hero course? Also, the upgrades you did to my speakers are awesome. How did you triple their power and reduce the vibration problem? I chuckled, not telling you. Oh yeah, you might want to change people in a site alpha elsewhere. I kind of destroyed it showing off my shield. He nodded and looked at May, who shook her head. I just want to see him and his babies in the hero test. When the room gasped, I sighed. By babies, she means inventions. Is it okay if she watches it? Big mouth. Present Mike laughed. Sure thing, broccoli head. Still working on your taunts. I nodded, and he continued explaining the test. Once he was done explaining, and everyone was at their necessary site, I relaxed and went through my support gear. May wished me luck before he went up to the observing room. That's when I saw a brown-haired girl looking like she was about to hurl from nervousness. I quickly walked over, jumping over blue hair. Calm down, you'll do fine. If anything goes wrong, I will help you, okay? She nodded but still seemed tense as I looked at the info card I coded into my site. Oh, you're nervous about your quirk's drawback. I have something that might help. She looked at me stunned as I gave her a small mask with a small, empty vial on the side of it. This mask is to help people who get motion sickness. No mess, and they don't choke on their own upchuck. She hesitantly took it. How do you know about my drawback and my quirk? I don't know you, and I've not told anyone here about it. I literally face-palmed. I am so sorry. My name is Izuku Midoriya, and my quirk is the code. It basically makes me into a video game character and makes me able to interact with the world like it's a game. A support class applicant gave me an idea to try data cards on people. I forgot to undo the code for it. She smiled. Your quirk is amazing, much better than mine. I shook my head. Your quirk is awesome too, Uraraka. You just need to train it some. After that, I walked away wishing her luck. Then the test started, and I rushed in, confusing everyone. Present Mike screamed, "There's no countdown in battle. Follow that broccoli-headed shrimp." The rest then followed. The test was fun to do. I fought using a laser sword to cut up the bots and use my shield to protect people who were about to be hurt while we were all just started. As we all spread out, I decided to try an ability called Code Clones. Soon, pixelated versions of me with only shields began to help people only when needed. Unfortunately, this is when I met my quirk's first drawback. I saw through all their eyes and controlled them similar to a hive mind, but it gave me a splitting headache. Soon everyone began to suddenly clump back together, and I realized why. The zero-pointer was easily 10 stories tall. I had my clones help people get away until I saw Uraraka under some rubble. I quickly ran over and used my shield to protect her as I had clones get her out and help me keep the robot's foot up. We succeeded in getting her free, but most of my clones and my main body was destroyed as the foot was too much for us. My mind instantly went into a clone near her, and I started to cough some as I took in some air. Note to self, next time code my clones to actually use their lungs. That hurt like hell. Everyone was stunned as my clone went from pixels to flesh and BLD. Is everyone okay? Is anyone hurt? Most shook their heads, but a girl with headphone jacks on her ears walked over. How are you alive? We just saw you get crushed by the zero-pointer. My clones and I began to heal people with healing items from different games as I answered her. My quirk is the code. Basically, I am a video game character in a video game world because of it. Basically, my clones were like lives in Mario or the respawn button in Dark Souls. When the time was up, I depixelated the clones and drank a healing potion into my headache. That's when I got a new one from Recovery Girl. Izuku, I told you is my job to heal people. Are you trying to take my job? Even though she was very short and old, I knew if she got mad, she could easily beat All Might right now. I'm sorry, Recovery Girl. I didn't mean to. I just don't like to see people hurt. Please don't kill me. She gave everyone some gummy bears and sighed. It's okay. I know your heart is in the right place. Also, I'm out of the burn cream you gave me. You were correct about your friend getting people with his quirk. I quickly went through my backpack, giving her some more of it, but because the bottle was bigger than her, I had one of her med bots carry it for her. With that, everyone got shuttled back to the school, where we changed back into our street clothes and left to go home. I ran into May, as she apparently was waiting for me. You impressed everyone, including All Might. I bet you get into the hero course. I would bet 2 of my babies on it. I laughed as I shook my head. I'd rather not win that bet. I want to take people's inventions from them. With that, we talked about inventions and heroes we liked until we had to go separate ways home. A week later, I got the letter saying I got into the hero course and that I would start in A1 until the afternoon, where I would go to support for the first day. After that, unless told otherwise, I would be in support during the morning and hero classes in the afternoon. When I told my mom, she congratulated me, and we went out for cats at on. I couldn't wait for classes to start, and I hoped that Kakin got in, even though he is somewhat reckless. Maybe classes with other heroes in training will help him learn control. I sigh as I begin to get ready for the first day of school. My mom was already awake and cooking me a big breakfast. I eat it even though I don't need it to survive. It just becomes extra energy, and I nearly coughed as she dropped a bombshell. Izuku, your father, will be coming home soon. He left to get a better-paying job for us. I gulped down my juice and cleared my throat. What do you mean he's coming back? I thought he left because I was quirkless, and he didn't want a quirkless son. I was very blunt and mad, so I just left after that. On my way to school, I ran into the girl I saved and nearly knocked her over. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. She blushed. Oh, you're the boy who saved me. I was never able to really thank you. I'm Uraraka Achiko, and thank you for saving my life. Oh yeah, I wasn't able to return this. She dug into her bag, pulling out the motion sickness mask. I'm Midoriya Izuku, and it's okay. You keep it. I've already made a few. She smiled. Thanks, I will give it to the support class to add it to my costume. I began to laugh some at that statement. No need to do that, Uraraka. I will build one for it when I get started on the hero costumes for A1. I'm in both, so why not? Uraraka looked at me confused. What do you mean you're in both? I chuckled and had my surfer pop out. Once it fully formed, she recognized me from the news. Wait, you're the kid who made that for All Might. I nodded. Get on, or we will be late. She gets on, and I break a few speed limits to get us to UA. Once we get there, I store our ride, and I lead her to A1. I sighed and shook my head. First day, and two idiots are already fighting. After bracing myself, I open the door and head to my seat. The blue-haired guy who insulted me for being late walked over. I am sorry about yelling at you during the section. They explained the test. Please forgive me. I smiled. It's okay, Tenya. You were just trying to instill punctuality. I am Midoriya Izuku, and I know your name, and Quirk due to mine. He nodded and went back to telling Katsuki to get his feet to the desk. Once I saw it was Katsuki, I walked over. Kaken, will you please put your feet down? I'd rather not get a migraine. My head still hurts from the last day. I acted sweetly to him like I used to. His reaction was his feet hitting the ground so fast Ida was surprised. Thanks, Kaken. Actually, I do need to use your name. Katsuki, please try to behave. I don't want your only friend to be me. He sighed. Sorry, Izuku. It's just a bad habit. With that over, I sat back in my seat and waited for our teacher to arrive. After a little bit, I noticed a bug-like thing crawl in. I stayed quiet until I got a clear angle of his little tab thing I coded during the exam. Good morning, Aizawa-sensei. This made the entire class shut up and sit down. How did you notice me? He asked as he got out of his sleeping bag behind his desk. Info cards that only I can see. I coded it during the exam. He sighed. You're the dual-class kid, aren't you? I nodded, yes, sensei. Today I'm in here for the morning, then I'll be afternoon here only. Aizawa sighed and tossed everyone gym uniforms and told us where to find him after changing. We all went to the respective changing rooms and got changed. I had to drag out one kid. His name is Mineta, and he is a major pervert. He found a peephole and was about to check out the girls when I sealed off the hole and dragged him away. Aizawa was shocked to see me be the first one changed and dragging a classmate. Why are you dragging that kid? I growled slightly. He found a hole and was trying to look at the girls changing. I sealed the hole and dragged him so we'll be able to drive before he tries again. After about 10 minutes, everyone else comes out and Aizawa explained what we were doing. He was letting us use our quirks to do basic physical tests. He called me up. Izuku, you got over 300 points, so you start. Throw this ball as hard as you can. He tossed me the ball, and I got into the tossing circle. I threw it and got infinity as a score. After that, I broke the record for every test he had us do. I broke a hand grip device, teleported to the end of the print getting 0.00001 seconds. I flew up for a bit using potions from Minecraft. Side-to-side jumps were really easy thanks to Bouncy Gel from Portal 2. The one I loved the most was sit-ups and push-ups till I couldn't do them anymore. After an hour of me doing 30 push-ups or sit-ups a minute, Aizawa gave up. Izuku, just get changed and go to support class. All my training you gave you a big edge. I nodded and left yelling, Mineta, I'll make sure that the peephole is completely sealed. I don't want you being a pervert on school grounds. I changed and walked into the support classroom where everyone was already tinkering. Power Loader noticed me. Wow, you're earlier than expected. Did Aizawa remove you from his class? I shook my head. Nope, just dismissed me because an hour of push-ups and sit-ups broke him. Power Loader laughed and handed me one costume designs. Once I looked them all over, I started making them all. The first was easy for Uraraka. I based it roughly on a spacesuit, with compression and a smaller version of the motion sickness device in its hood. Next was Katsuki's. He literally wanted to be a walking bomb in appearance. I make it as he wanted, but I removed the grenade gauntlets. Changing them to look like dynamite is wrapped around his wrists with multiple fuses, so he gets multiple shots of focused explosions. They would be less powerful for each one, but together would be more powerful than the original if all are used at the same time. When I saw the Invisible Girl's gloves and shoes, I shook my head. I made her an outfit that looked shiny, and when it's activated, it becomes invisible and hides her heat signature. That's what May interrupted me. Nice fabric, what's it made of? Think I can use it in my babies? I laughed. May, it's invisibility fabric, and I'm working on making her goggles that do the same. That'll be metal and such. May nods as she poked Katsuki's wrist dynamite. Are these useful? I nodded. Just be glad it doesn't have any of his explosive sweat in it. Better put some nitroglycerin burn cream in a pouch. I then put some of the special burn cream into a pouch on his outfit. Need help with the outfits? I nodded. I need knight armor for Tenya. I think some dry ice, or colder, should be used on his leg engine's cooling system. Best metal would be tritanium mixed with vibranium. I then told her a few others as I moved on to Tokiyami Fumikage's outfit. His costume was pretty much what he wanted, but I add a bulletproof shawl and make his entire outfit the blackest black possible, making him look somewhat like an error in a simulation. This should help boost Dark Shadow's power in the day, and the shawl can be used to glide around similar to a hang glider. I do smaller changes to others' outfits, but that's about it. By the time school is over, we have all but my suit done. Izuku want me to make your outfit. I can see her gears turning as Power Loader looks over the finished outfits. I'm sorry, but I've not designed an outfit yet. I was just going to pixelate myself for now. She got a drawing as I finished what I was saying. Power Loader walked over and congratulated us on our awesome work for our first day. He tried to talk to May, but she waved him off. Up until the bell rang, I helped other students. After packing my stuff, I headed up to Nizu's office. I knocked on the door, then walked in when he said enter. Hi, Nizu. Ready to play some checkers? Nizu nodded. I heard you nearly choked a classmate to death. May I know why? Mineta is a pervert. He found a peephole that lets the locker rooms see into each other, but it looked like it was made from the male side. I dragged him out after I sealed the hole. Nizu's eyes widened. I am glad you sealed it, but dragging him may have been overkill. I sigh. Maybe, but if he touches the girl I am interested in, he will be embarrassed and hurt. That's when Power Loader and Aizawa come in. Aizawa instantly recommends I get boosted to A2 at least, and Power Loader wants me to get a workshop already. I was stunned by it, and Nizu agrees. If he wants to skip a grade, he can. Leave him be if he says no. I shake my head. I want to stay in A1. I don't want more people to hate me for skipping grades. Also, what do you mean by workshop? I already have one at home. May not have the best stuff, but it works. Power Loader laughed as he explained that usually he gives second year's workshops that are near indestructible for more dangerous creations and store their creations between working on them or doing a new one altogether. I think May needs that more than me. I can shrink stuff or store it in a pocket dimension. No clue how I do it yet, but I can. Also, I can create unbreakable boxes. You saw how strong the blast was during the test. He nodded and left as I packed up. During this chat, I had beat Nizu at checkers without them noticing. When I got home, I saw a note on the door stating that Mom went to pick up my father from the airport. I destroyed the note and went to my room, switching to some shorts and a t-shirt before I leave her a note. It said, "Don't bug me, I'm inventing. Make sure he understands I don't am in my room or my lab." He had over 10 years to come back or contact us. I'm not forgiving him yet. Might one day, but not this month. I could hear them when Mom came home. She read the note and sighed. He won't meet you tonight, hon. He is in his lab, which is off limits even to me. He has some dangerous devices in there. That's when I heard my father's voice, which hasn't changed in 10 years. F that SHD. I've been gone working my butt off for him, and he won't even see me. I then heard stomping and him open my bedroom door. Of course, he loves all JRK. Where's his lab? Hisashi, calm down. You're just tired. Let's go to bed, and you can see him in the morning. That's when I heard a slap. He hit my mom. I don't remember what happened next. 1 second, I'm working on metal and glass. I can turn invisible, and the next, I'm at the front door glaring at my beat-up father who has fear in his eyes and is backing away down the sidewalk. I slam the door shut and walk over to my mom, who also is afraid of me. What did I do? I was just in my lab and heard him hit you. As I put cream and ice on Mom's face, she told me. If it wasn't her telling me, I wouldn't believe her. Apparently, I teleported in front of Hisashi and yelled at him for hitting her. He said he only did it to get me out here to meet him. Those words made me go into something called Enraged Defender mode, according to a digital-sounding voice that came from my QI. I beat Hisashi up without any serious damage, and each time he would breath fire, I ate it like it was candy. Once I got him out the door, I yelled, "Next time I see you, you better be apologizing to me and my mom. You owe 10 years of apologies and an extra year thanks to you hitting her." Mom was proud of how strong I am and that I protected her, but she also is afraid of how strong I am and how she might not be able to pay the bills now. I told her I will get a part-time job to help, since if he doesn't help anymore, it's my fault. It wasn't until I went to bed did what she said hit me. I ate fire, my QI spoke, and I beat a pro hero. How much more power is hidden within my quirk? DM in it. I'm gonna have to talk to All Might later, since his quirkus a strength-based quirk. I yawn as I headed to school on my surfer. It's been a few days since the first day, and honestly, May was draining to contain at times. Literally in the past 4 days, she has blown up 25 gadgets, injured 10 people, nearly killed me twice, and actually killed me once. After the third explosion, she was assigned a big blast-proof hangar to test in. I was assigned the same one, but there was a big rule we had. She could not test her babies unless I made the area completely unbreakable. As I walked past the classroom, I waved a power loader. Hey, Teach, you enjoyed the improved digging suit I gave you. He nodded and laughed as I headed to the hangar. Make sure May stops working on the dangerous stuff when you leave. She gets really impatient. I stop and walk backwards. If I can talk her, Nizu, and Aizawa into it, can she join the hero course like I am? He shrugged and sent me along. I quickly rushed to Nizu's office with my plan. Nizu somehow was expecting me. Hello, Izuku. Let me guess you want me to be a cross-lesson like you. I nodded. It may help reduce her more dangerous stuff, give her babies a better focus, and keep her out of Funding's hair. I already talked to Aizawa. Now it's up to her. Please make her agree. I don't want another funder to scream at me to throw her out. I smiled. Will do. Thanks, Nizu. We can play chess tomorrow with Solar Surfers as a bet. By the time I'd gotten to the hangar, May was tapping her foot near the door. About time I need to test my babies, and you're late. I sighed. May, I was talking to the principal. He wants you to become a cross-study student like me. That way your creations can be made for people in particular. Think of it, all of one using devices we create when they go hero. The reason is because we know their quirks and understand how to make them stronger with support items. I may have laid it on a bit too much as she nodded furiously. Should I tell Nizu you'll do it? Of course I will do it, Izuku, but you must become my boyfriend, May said as she hugged me. I was stunned as I didn't know my crush liked me. Wait, boyfriend, may I ask why that popped up? She giggled and kissed me. You're smart but dumb. I got a crush on you during the entrance exams. Now don't deny you like me. I saw you drawing me in a wedding dress. Honestly, more gears on the left and laser shooting flowers in the bouquet, and it would be perfect. I blushed darkly and kissed her back. You got me, but please take better care of yourself. I know your goals, but your health comes before the techno babies. Deal. She agreed, and I sent a small robot to tell Nizu. Once I sent out, I set up a monitor so May and I could watch what would happen. I smirked and spoke through the small mouse like bot after Nizu saw it. Message for Principal Nizu. For safety reasons, there is a riddle as a password. Are you ready? Nizu chuckled. Very clever, Izuku. All right, give me the riddle. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Do you know the answer? I muted the mic as I began to laugh. Nizu had me repeat the riddle. May asked for the answer, but I ignored her for a second. After Nizu thought of the answer in complete silence for about 15 seconds, I spoke. Answer correct, as you are wise. Message is, May will cross-study like me. Have a good day, Principal Nizu. Once I finished the message, I had the robot return with Nizu looking confused. I didn't give an answer, though. Meanwhile, I was laughing my butt off as May matched Nizu's look. I'm sorry, but I finally beat Nizu in a riddle. If I know him, he will either chase the robot or have a teacher carry him here. The second those words left my mouth, Nizu kicked open the door and glared at me. Okay, wise guy, what was with the nonsense riddle? What could the answer possibly been? Nizu yelled as he climbed onto my desk to get close to eye level. The answer was for you to not speak. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Do you know the answer? The answer is in the riddle. I burst out laughing again as May and Nizu looked even more confused. It took them a few minutes for them to understand it. Nizu laughed and left. I will remember that riddle and use it to confuse people. You're a devious Izuku. The bet is a surfer and Imperial Tips tea. Of course, Nizu, it's worth the bet raised to finally stump you, I say as the laughing continues. May eventually slapped me. Snap out of it, Izu. Get up and reinforce the room for me. I have tests to do. I sigh and stand up typing the reinforcement code. You're no fun. There it's reinforced. While she tested some explosive-resistant material, I created a SWCH on the wall labeled Coded Reinforcement. I tested by switching it to off, causing a huge wall in the hangar. I quickly fixed it and turned it back on, and it worked. Of course, May didn't notice at all, but I tell her once she finishes testing. She was overjoyed, but quickly went back to testing. I finished a new nausea-stopping device and tried making a nutrient blend for Momo to use in emergencies to create items. I was close to getting what I wanted, but it would instantly make her as big as Fat Gum, a really awesome but really big hero. With some of the nutrient blend in small vials and a costume for Momo, I knocked on the glass of the testing area to get Mai's attention. She quickly put her current test away, hit the SWCH, and left to go to lunch. I gave the better costume to Power Loader along with a note to explain the vials. We then went to the cafeteria where May and I ate with Ewan. They all were stunned when she said she is joining the hero course. Momo leaned over and whispered something into her ear, to which May nodded and caused Momo to shake some. Before I could ask why Momo was flustered, lunch ended and we all went to class. May sat on my lap, causing glares from girls and one grape-headed pervert. When All Might came in yelling, "I am entering the room as a normal person." I couldn't help but yell over the normal person bit with Silly Buffoon. The entire class gasped, but All Might laughed. I guess I deserved it. "Hey, young Midoriya, still learning insults with Mike." I shook my head. No, I did stump Nizu earlier, though. That stunned him, but he smiled. "You record it. I will send it to you later, it's class time." "Deka, how the F do you know All Might?" Katsuki yelled as he grabbed me by my shirt's collar, sending me to the floor. QI stated, "Apologize, or I will activate Defender mode." I looked at my quirk interface, which instead of its nice green was now a deep red similar to BLD. QI, let's save that for training. I'm sure Bakugo will enjoy it whether he apologizes or not. I said, my voice with so much venom in it All Might backed away. Katsuki let me go but glared. I meet young Midoriya when his quirk manifested. So this is the one who caused it. Anyways, everyone, let's get to battle training. Change into your costumes and meet me at Site Gamma. The suits popped out of the wall as he left. I helped May up and grabbed my box before everyone else did. In the locker room, Kirishima noticed my scars. "Whoa, where did you get all those scars, Midoriya bro?" I sighed as I put on my outfit, which was basically a Greentron outfit with extra padding and the ride/weapon sticks on my arms. "I'd rather not say, but you already met the cause." With that, I left meeting everyone who already changed. Momo walked over. "Midoriya, why is there an opening on my back and just a small hole in my cleavage? I need as much skin visible as possible." I pointed to a button on a wristband that activates a shield to cover your back and give you the items created to whichever hand is open. Plus, the less skin in front is because of my netta. It's also made for if you use the nutrient blend. That should only be a last resort if you need to make something really big or a whole ton. She sighed and shook her head. "I will try this design, but how will it know where I want the item?" I tapped the back of my neck. "Your outfit has a mind-reading chip right there, so it'll know." I pull a disc off my back and begin to toss into the air before catching it. After waiting a bit, I activate the helmet on my suit and check it out. When everyone was out, All Might explain the lesson. Basically, we have two teams, villains and heroes, and the heroes must catch the villains or the weapon before time runs out. If the heroes are caught or time runs out, villains win. All teams and matches were done by lottery, except one match. Just me against Katsuki, and I am the villain. Now, since young Bakugo offended young Midoriya, I think they should get the bad BLD out of their systems. Especially young Midoriya, All Might stated. Their match will happen now, and they will hopefully participate again later in team matches. I nodded and ran down the street to the chosen building. After placing the weapon on the middle floor with a very strong shield, I headed to the door on the first floor. When the timer started, I walked out the door and created another giant shield over the entire building. Let's start. QI activate Defender, Battle, and God modes. QI beeped loudly as light temporarily covered my body before I got into a fighting stance. When Katsuki tried his usual starter, right hook, I kicked him away with great speed and forced crashing him through another building. When the JRK came flying at me, using his explosions, I did it again, not even leaving my spot. If you can make me leave this spot completely, the building's shield will fall. Then you will have to destroy the shield around the weapon. Now knock me over like you used to, or am I finally not a simple Deku? The last word was definitely venom-filled as I stand up straight and pull a book out of my pocket dimension. As I begin to read, I simply bend, punch, kick, or slap Katsuki away until he destroyed my book. My suit then changed from green to red as I blacked out again. I regained control when time was up and Katsuki was unconscious and beaten to a pulp. After dusting the soot from my outfit, I healed Katsuki and carried him to the observation room as I reformed the book. When I arrived, everyone took a couple of steps back away from me, except for May, who hugged me. She whispered, "Please never use whatever mode made you go crazy. You nearly killed him." I watched the tape, which was of me summoning my pixel clones and using them to fight Katsuki. He deserved it for what he put me through and shoving May earlier. At least I didn't leave any proof other than this tape. I put Katsuki in a chair as I sat in a corner of the room and put my head on my knees. Kaminari put what I said in the locker together with what I just said. "Wait, Bakubro was the one who gave you all of those scars. Why isn't he in jail? Some look like they were deep." I nodded to All Might as I stayed quiet. He sighed and got everyone's attention. Young Midoriya was bullied since he was deemed quirkless. Even his teachers encouraged the mistreatment. One day, young Bakugo told him to, and I quote, "take a swan dive off the roof and hope for a quirk in your next life." Young Midoriya did just that. His timing was that he fell to the ground right in front of the entire school. Heroes and first responders were called as his body suddenly vanished, but the BLD stayed. Young Midoriya got his quirk as he died, and he then met me after he trapped a villain for me. After that, I helped train him use his very adaptable quirk. After that was done, I slowly stood up. Also, my father is back in town. The first thing he did was hit my mom. That's when I found out about Defender mode. Basically, I fight till they give up, though the power is weaker. Battle mode is more strength, but I get hurt much easier. God mode is the ultimate regenerative and power-reflective mode, but it has a time limit. Everyone relaxed some after this, but not a whole lot. That's when Katsuki woke up, looked around, then launched himself at me screaming Deku. Right before he got to me, Siro, Tsuyu, and Momo restrained him. I was stunned as May slapped him. "You were a big JRK. Aiza made your costume, forgave you, and even healed you, and you still attack him. Be glad I don't want my boyfriend to hate me, or I would use my acid thrower on you." She hugged me and pulled me back to my corner as Siro tied him to a chair. Everyone did their battle tests with May, Momo, and Mineta against Todoroki and Ojiro being a hectic one. Mai's team was villains, and they won quite easily with Mineta being kicked out a window, sticking the heroes together. Of course, I warned Mineta not to try anything. May and Momo had anti-pervert gear on which automatically would kick perverts away. They kicked him back and forth until he was sent through the window. The girls were cheering it on as the guys winced. I told them not to try. Every girl's outfit has anti-pervert tech. The girls then thanked me and asked if they can add it to their school uniforms. When everyone was done, I gave All Might the clip of Nizu confused and changed. As I began to unfurl my surfer to go home, All Might flew up on his. "Want a race today, young Midoriya? I want anti-perv gear if I win. There are some crazy fans who want me." I laughed as my classmates came out and saw me getting on my surfer. "You're on All Might, but if I win you have to give up Solar Might for a week." He nodded, and we raced to my place where he was invited for supper. The next day, I was given lots of orders of solar surfers from my classmates, and All Might took his little moped to school. I still made All Might some anti-pervert stuff. I may have one, but he definitely could use it. I was in the basement of my house using my quirk to play Minecraft on the surface of my desk. It was fun using something called redstone to automate some items, and I came up with a dumb idea. With a couple of hours of searching, I found out you could create mods for the game and started to do so. When I finished a couple of hours later, I had a factory in Minecraft to build surfers for me. There were robots made to mine the resources needed, machines to process the materials, and finally a big machine to make the surfers. Once I saw it work a while, I picked up the digital factory and bring it up to my mom. I showed it to her, and when I open the chest holding the finished product and pull out a watch, it becomes real. Look, I made a factory. Of course, my mom was proud and pointed at an or I had laying around my factory as decoration. I told her what it was, and she tilted her head. Hun, I know it's just a game, but there's no such thing as green gold. I showed her the recipe for green gold. She apologized. That's when there was a knock on the door, and it was May. I could tell, because her knock is a machine gun. Mom was confused until I warped her and causing her to cough some. Hun, warn me next time you plan to warp me. Oh, what's that on the table? Mom and I laughed as I showed it off. May was really interested and asked if I can make fabrics this way like her super fabric, which is cut, acid, explosion, fire, freezing, and a lot more proof, and it reacts to the user's quirks. She used it for my Tron-like hero outfit, which is why it glowed and changed colors. I looked at its elemental structure and used it in an odd mod, which you can turn stuff like silk and dirt into its elemental components. Once I figured out how to make thread and a way to automatically weave it into different outfits and colors, I hand May her digital factory for outfits and teach her how to put in the measurements and everything. She screams in joy and measures my mom. I watch her make a dress for my mom. When mom tries it on, its hem seems to float and move like there's a breeze, and it changes colors to match her mood. Wow, Inko, that dress looks awesome on you. I froze when I heard that from my father. May glances at him, then me. Hun, who's the dude standing there? Why does he look like Defender mode hit him? I growled and QI formed next to me. He is my father. He helped me discover Defender mode. What do you want, you waste of flesh? He glared at me. I am here to talk to Inko, not you. Hun, we need to get back together. I know I left to get us more money, but since Izuku is in UA and very powerful, I can retire and make up for a lost time. My mom paled with the dress, turning a dark red. With it, I was shaking with rage. You vanished for 10 years, only to return since I can make you money. Leave the house now, or I will activate Reaper mode. May quickly hug me and try to calm me down. Hun, don't you dare activate that again. You literally ate the souls of the last target. I don't want you expelled from the school. Father fell for the big lie and ran as QI created Reaper mode and one called Ghost Rider. I guess I'll try them later. Mom, get a restraining order, please. I'm getting one tomorrow since I don't want to kill him. With that, I head to a nearby park and use a laser knife from a sci-fi video game to carve logs from Minecraft into different action figures, video game characters, even make a few villain carvings as I zone out some. After about an hour, I notice kids and adults looking at the carvings. If they had questions about who was who, how much, where did you get that wood, etc., I would answer as I used QI to paint them. Most were shocked that I had a very flexible quirk and I had such fine control of it. I spent the rest of the day carving items and selling them as a way to pass the time. After that, I spent an hour creating a bank account to store all my money and any I will get later. When I finally got home, I was instantly enraged. My piece of a HD father was beating my mother. He was mad I didn't respect him and that she didn't stand up for him. The sight of my mom bloody made me black out again. When I regained my consciousness, I quickly called the police and healed my mom. At first, Mom was afraid of me, and I didn't know why. That's when I looked at a nearby mirror and panicked a bit. I was scared of myself as I was now nightmare fuel. I want to test out the modes later, but not at the same time. I kept the form as I glared at my still-alive father. Sitting in a chair, I look at the recording of what happened. When I blacked out, I yelled, "Hell, Reaper Mode Safe Edition." My father attacked me, calling me a worthless piece of SHD son. That I should be taking care of him, finally, since I know All Might and will be a strong hero. All I did was pin him to the wall and look into his eyes. Your soul is stained by the BLD of the innocent. Have a taste of their pain. I re-watched him hurting innocent people for no reason. He only passed out from mental pain, and that's when I woke up. Police arrived and assumed I am the criminal until my mom said, "That's my son. He just saved me from my ex-husband." His quirk activated to defend me. Izuku, please deactivate whatever mode this is and show the police what happened with QI. A cop snickered. Don't you mean IQ, ma'am? I deactivate Hell Reaper and glare. QI is short for Quirk Interface. My quirk is similar to a PC. Don't worry about that piece of SHD. All I did was knock him out with a watered-down version of the pain he caused innocent people. I showed them what happened, and they took him away. After a bit, I was grabbed as well and dragged to UA, where I saw Nizu and Aizawa waiting for me. Nizu spoke first. Izuku, you need to control your anger, okay? This is the third time you've blacked out thanks to your quirk. I growled. He was beating my mom like she was a bongo drum. Be glad my blackout mode didn't kill him. I literally had to reduce it to 0.00001% power not to cause any damage. That made Aizawa pale. How many innocent people did he hurt? I don't answer as I head to a training gym. Nizu POV, I watch Izuku walk to a gym on campus. So his father is a piece of work. He has great potential, but his father's actions will stain his name. Aizawa nodded. Yes, but his quirk is evolving much faster than any other I have ever seen. He might go unstable more often now. With that, I climb up into his capture gear scarf. True, but I think his drive to protect others will make him the next symbol of peace before he even graduates. I just finished training for a couple of hours after beating the CRP out of my father. Aizawa was asleep near the door. Ectoplasm was tired as his clones fought mine. And I was using Hell Reaper to cut up some food and perfectly cook it. Once I finished cooking the stew I brought it over to the two teachers. They ate it and actually enjoyed it. Incredible. I didn't think Hellfire could cook food like this. If I had more strength, I'd have some clones eat this. Unfortunately, lunch rush. The school's cook heard and got upset until he tried it. He now wants me to help make lunch from now on. That's when some random woman walked into the gym. I offered her a bowl, which she took happily. That's when Niza showed himself. What? Don't I get a bowl? I laughed. Sorry, Niza didn't see you. He eagerly ate his stew and got seconds before he told me what's going on. Izuku, this is our school's therapist, Elvira. She will hopefully be able to help you with your rage blackouts. I smiled. It's nice to meet you, Elvira. I'm sorry about getting you dragged out here during the weekend. She laughed. It's okay. If you didn't, I would most likely be eating ramen right now. After we all had our fill, Elvira lead me to her office where she sat me in a chair. I heard today was the third time you blacked out. Can you tell me what caused all of them? I sighed and leaned back in my chair. First and third was my father, if you can even call the SBRM donor that, hitting my mom. First time it was one slap, but this time he nearly killed her. If I didn't heal her, she would be gone. The second was Katsuki burning my book like he did the day I jumped. She stopped me, jumped as in attempted suicide. With a nod, I told her about my childhood as a quirkless kid. The bullying, the scars both physical and emotional, and some of my fears. When I told her about the day I jumped, she gently hugged me. She helped me through some of my issues and recommended a very unique anger management idea. I was to use my quirk to carve items or build something in Minecraft to burn off the rage. When she said that, I kind of laughed and showed her some I carved earlier. I kind of tried that earlier. Before he attacked my mom, he told me his plan. I was to support him like he supposedly supported us. As if $200 a month helps much. I had to tutor other kids, even helped out people in higher grades to help support my mom. After a bit of me raging about him not being there, him hurting my mom, and the CRP he is trying now, Elvira handed me a test. I did it and gave it back a few minutes later. She had a machine grade it and was shocked. Do you remember your previous IQ score? I shook my head as she triple-checked the test. Izuku, you were the highest score ever. You beat Niza's score, and it may be because your quirk was fully manifested. I checked the test as well and looked it over. None of the right or wrong answers were marked, but I knew which ones I got wrong, and it scared me. May I go home, please? I asked as I used red pen to fix the ones I got wrong. She let me leave, and I surfed home, where I instantly went to my room and thought about what I just learned about my quirk. It's increasing my IQ drastically every few seconds, and I'm finding out about stuff I know I never read before. I've had no interest in Hawaii, yet I know that they believe that the stretched molten glass and magma that usually comes out when one of their volcanoes erupted was hair of a goddess. I also know that bad luck usually follows people who take lava, rocks from the island, until they return it. I spent the entire night awake and stressed out. When my mom saw me in the morning, she saw that I had worn a path into my floor from my pacing. She sat me down, and I told her, I know some people with high intelligence lose emotions and become bored with everything. Well, I end up like them. My mom laughed and hugged me. You're silly, Izuku. They are that way because they have giant egos. You don't have one, and you're afraid of what others think. Just remember this. Just because you're smarter does not mean you're above or below anyone else. Use your brain to help others. Maybe you can help solve why we have quirks. That's when she left to make breakfast, and I relaxed some. After taking a shower and putting on a simple pair of shorts and a t-shirt, I headed downstairs to see my father there. Calm down, son. I'm just here to apologize to you and Inko. I know I haven't been a good father, and I would like to make up for it. Mom was trying to hide a mark on her arm as I walked over to him. I grabbed him in the same place and dragged him out. You hurt Mom again, and I will make sure you fear me. He drove off, and I locked the door. Izuku, he won't give up. He's hard-headed, and I told him now, so many times I lost count before I married him. I healed a hand-shaped bruise before I ate breakfast with Mom. Once breakfast was over, I walked to the police station. I got a restraining order on him and another type of order that also keeps him out of the house, which is in Mom's name. With that done, I told Mom and went back to the park where I started to carve again. After a couple of hours of carving, I saw my father again. I accidentally burned the carving I was working on as he got out of his car. Do not come any closer, sir. I have a restraining order on you. If you get close, you will be arrested. Also stay away from my home, or you'll get arrested. He sighed. Son, we need to talk. Sir, you lost the ability to call me son when you beat my mom. Leave now. He got closer, and a cop who was nearby arrested him instantly. With him gone, I got back to carving and joking with some people nearby. When it became lunchtime, May flew in on a surfer. Hey, Izu, you hungry? I nodded. Yeah, I am. You bring lunch, or are we going out for lunch? She helped me on her surfer, and we had McDonald's for lunch. When we returned to the park, there was a bag of money and a few carvings left next to where I was carving. I smiled and pocketed the money and got back to carving, showing May how to do it. Hers are pretty bad at first, but I smoothed them out some. When it became supper time, she could carve as well as I could. We left the carvings there with a note saying they were free. May took me to my place and joined us for supper. We enjoyed it, joking, talking about future creations, and such when I gave Mom the money I got from the carvings. She tried to refuse it, but I wouldn't let her, saying I kept a good amount of it for personal use, and May kept hers. She took it, but wasn't really happy about it. May went home soon after, and I got a phone call from an unknown number. Is this the wood carver from the park? I told him yes, and asked if a carving broke. The guy laughed and said no. He wanted to see how big, detailed, and how many different items I could carve. When I told him I was unsure, he asked to meet me tomorrow after school at the park. I agreed, and I told Mom what just happened. She told me to be careful, and I went to my room to surf the internet. That's when a cop body cam recording caught my eye. It was from yesterday when I was in Hell Reaper mode, and the comments on it was about how I was a villain, I should be jailed, killed, or worse. A few said I should be the judge, jury, and executioner if I really am death, or my quirk can see if someone did a crime. Sounds like fun, but since the cops know it's me, I can't do it. That's also when I got messages from all of my classmates. They were all scared they would have to face me. Well, all except May and Katsuki. Katsuki asked if I used it to defend my mom like it looked like. I told him what happened, and he tested back. I know I treated you like SHD, and I know if it wasn't me to cause it, you might have died by the slime. I'm glad you're a better person with an awesome quirk, but I will become #1 hero. That way, no matter what, you'll have to look up to me, knowing I'm better. I chuckled at his attempted apology and sent him a message saying I know why he's always angry. It's a core drawback, and if he allows me to, I can remove it. After that, I went to sleep and had a dream with me as hero #0. The hero code, Hell Reaper. Thank you for joining us on this journey through What If Deku Had Code Quirk. We hope you found it as captivating as we did. A big thank you to Lotus Moonveil for creating such an engaging story. Don't forget to visit their profile on Wattpad for more fantastic works. The link is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Zenin Fanfics for more intriguing explorations into fanfiction and fantasy. Your support helps us create more content like this, and we love hearing your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section. See you soon in the next video.